Hello, Anicod here, and today we're exploring one of the most underrated things in Rust. Yep, it's tea. I'll show you all the different types, what they do, how to craft them, and even a handful of helpful hints at the end. Now, before you do anything, the first thing you need is a mixing table. And this is what you'll use to throw all your berries in to make your cup of char. Now, you'll find the blueprint for this in a level 1 workbench, and it costs 200 frags and 100 stone to craft. Or if you're lazy like me, just get yourself over to the food market and you can get one for 175 scrap. Once you've got one of these, plonk it down and away we go. Now, we're going to concentrate on the 6 main teas. Those are anti-rad tea, the healing tea, the max health tea, the ore tea, the scrap tea, and the wood tea. I'm going to leave the recipes up here so you can see, and I'll put them down in the description as well. But basically, to make the advanced versions, you'll need 4 of the basic. And then, obviously, if you want to make the pure, you need 4 of the advanced. There's also a handful of other teas like the cooling tea and the warming tea. I'll lightly touch on those a little bit later on. So, as you've noticed, you need berries, and lots of them. So how do we get the berries? Well, you can find these hanging around fields, or if you're like me, you can set up a ridiculous automatic watering farm and harvest all your own. There's also food caches as well in Rust, remember, and you can get berries from there as well. So if you don't want to grow your own, or you don't want to hunt around fields for bushes, then get yourself over to those. Now, what you'll notice is there's 3 of each tea type. You've got the basic, the advanced, and the pure. Now, it's not too difficult to tell these apart. For example, we've got the healing tea at the top. You'll notice it's all black for the basic, a little bit more colour for the advanced, and then a fully coloured in cross for the pure. And it's exactly the same for the rest of them. Next to it you can see the basic scrap, which is just a black nut, the advanced, which is a slightly more coloured in nut, and then the pure, which is fully coloured in, and so on and so on. Now, I'm not going to go through every single stat, but I will give you an example of why the pure is better than the advanced and the advanced is better than the basic. So if you look at scrap, the basic will give you 100% scrap yield and last for 30 minutes. Whereas the advanced will give you 225% and last for 45 minutes. And then if you go to the pure scrap, that will give you 350 and last for a full hour. And it's the same throughout. Again, if I take through every single tea, this video will last about an hour, and I'm sure nobody wants that. So making the tea is self-explanatory, but I'm going to explain it anyway. So you can look at the list of ingredients on my screen now, and you can see exactly what berries need to go in the machine, and they have to go in the correct order. So once you've dropped them in, hit the start mixing, give it a few seconds, and there's your tea. Remember, if you want the advanced, then you drop 4 basics of the same tea type in and mix it, and if you want the pure, you drop 4 advances in. So don't get me wrong, it is expensive to get a pure, but remember what I said about the stats, it's really worth it. Now, the other tea types, you have got crafting quality tea, and all that does is just increase the chance of a higher quality outcome. You've then got the harvesting tea. So basically, when you're harvesting animals or humans, if you're that way inclined, you'll get more things out of it. You've got the cooling tea. So obviously, if you're in a hot environment in the desert biome, you drink this, it'll cool you down. And then you've got the complete opposite, which is the warming tea. If you're over in the snow biome, drink this, it'll warm your cockles. And then you've got a super serum, but I'll go into that later on. Just look at the stats on that. Oh, so let's just say you've walked over a bear trap like me. Well, if you want, you can take the max health tea or the pure healing tea, which will heal you a lot over a short period of time. The max health tea will just give you a boost. We've then got the rad tea, so if you're over at the launch site, for example, the anti-rad tea will give you a bit of protection. If you've already got loads of radiation poisoning, then you can obviously use the rad removal tea. This will remove 10 for the pure and give you that bit more protection. As I mentioned before, if you're over in the snow biome, I'm not sure how I ended up here, but there you go. Don't get mixed up and drink the cooling tea. Remember, you want to warm your cockles, and for that you'll need a warming tea. It'll give you +10 temperature. If you're at the complete opposite end of the scale and you end up in a desert biome, then this is what you need the cooling tea for. And this will cool you down by 10. If you're gathering wood, then make sure you stood next to the trees that you want to gather before you drink the tea. Because if you drink it in your base, you're just going to be wasting the time running over to the trees to do your harvesting. If you're somehow floating around in space like me here and you come across a person that you want to harvest, don't forget to drink your harvesting tea. If you find yourself surrounded by rocks and you've got your automatic dildo to hand, then make sure you drink your ore tea. Plus 50% ore yield for this, which is a massive amount. And if you find yourself running up and down the road on the hunt for scrap, like this handsome gentleman, make sure you drink your scrap tea. Remember, the pure gives you plus 350. And as promised, let's get onto the super serum. Now, what happens when you drink this super top secret Chuck Norris blood? Well, look at those stats. Yep, give it a little swig and it shoots you off in space. I'm joking, by the way. I don't think you'll be able to get the super serum. So sorry if I got your hopes up, but stats like that will probably break the game. So anyway, I hope you've learnt something new with this tea tutorial. If you have, feel free to leave me a like or drop me a sub if you want to see even more Rust tutorials. I normally do electric, but it doesn't hurt to do others as well, I suppose. If you've watched it this far, let me know you're a legend down below and I'll drop you an Anacod heart. And yeah, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.